What is up? Today's video is going to be a home gym tour of my garage gym. It is currently August 2025. The last time I shot this video was February of 2022. So it's been about 3.5 years since my last update video. So as you would expect, a lot has changed. So we'll kind of walk through what has remained the same, what has left the gym, what has entered the gym, and everything in between. Starting off with painting. So I did paint half of my garage black. I wanted to, change the aesthetic of the actual lifting area, and I have enjoyed it. It's a lot of work to paint, so I didn't want to touch the other half. So that other half of the garage remains white. I do still park a car in the garage, so I have a 2-car garage. So half of my garage is dedicated to the home gym. The other thing I did change out is the lighting. So these are from Amazon. They are Barina lights. I used to have like your typical garage workshop overhang fluorescent lights and replace them with these instead. And it's worked out great. If I have any affiliate links, I'll leave them in the description. Feel free to use them or don't use them. But those are the two main gym equipment updates that I made in the past 3 years. But we'll go ahead and get started with this side of the gym. So you can see there's a clear line right here of where the paint starts and ends. But yeah, let's get started. Since we were already looking at the lights, I'm actually gonna get started up here. So this is a DIY Vertex that I designed and 3D printed. So I do a lot of jump training, play a lot of volleyball, and I'm still trying to dunk a basketball. So measuring my vertical touch is something that I'm interested in and do somewhat regularly. But this is a DIY thing that I made. It is connected to a volleyball antenna, and there's also this custom 3D printed bracket that I made to attach it to my crossbeam. So I use this maybe once a month to test my vertical or just to jump train in general. So that's been super cool to have. I do have some art in the gym. This is a Kobe print by one of my favorite artists, JCRO, who's from the Long Beach area, but he does a lot of low poly sports, hip hop based paintings and prints. And then also a Michael Jordan one there. I do plan to add some other stuff on the walls eventually, but that's kind of what I have right now as far as paintings or any personal touches. But we'll start here. I do have the Power Block USA Elites. I started with the 50-pound, and then I upgraded to the 70-pound extension, and now I have since upgraded to the full 90-pound dumbbell. So love these. They've been working really great. Another upgrade that I did was I replaced the default handles with some metal knurled ones directly from Power Block, so not from any of the other third-party manufacturers, but these ones feel a lot better, so I would recommend that if you don't like the default rubbery grips. This is definitely a huge improvement. And then I did also DIY this dumbbell cart. I used to have the Power Block stand, but I sold that on Marketplace and was like, you know what? I want a dumbbell cart that has wheels that I can wheel around the gym and make it easier to unload and load the dumbbells when I'm doing any pressing movements like incline dumbbell press or flat dumbbell press. So I can easily walk in here, pick up the dumbbells, walk back in. It makes it very convenient, and I did put some casters on these. So there's a handful of YouTube videos that I followed to help me make this, but this is pretty much a one-day build, or maybe even a half-day build if you don't even want to paint it, but really nice upgrade. Moving on. So here is kind of a wall control area that has just random stuff. So mainly holds my bands. So there's a hip band, and these are different resistance bands. These are from PJF Performance, which I really like. And then just your typical ones, as well as some safety straps from Bells of Steel, pulleys, got some ankle cuffs, random chains, TRX, which I don't really use too much, an old belt that I don't use too much either. So this is kind of an area that I don't use that much. It just stores a bunch of random stuff. I also have some liquid chalk, which I use, and then random hitch pins. This I do use a lot, so barbell rescue brush, as well as their multi-purpose oil for maintaining my bars, especially my bare steel bar, to like prevent rust from forming. So this has been really nice, and I would highly recommend it if you want to upkeep your barbell maintenance. I do have like a power strip here and this adjustable pull-up bar with a Beyond Power Vultra mounted to it. I can't actually use this right now anymore because I did kind of change the configuration of my rack. Before I changed my rack configuration, I would use this to place at different points on the rack to do Beyond Power Vultra movements. But now I need to like probably sell this because it doesn't fit on my rack anymore. Long story short, this is the rack. It is a Bells of Steel Hydra half rack system. It is pretty much similar to Rogue's Monster Light rack. So 3x3 uprights, 5/8 inch holes. And then this is an adjustable pull-up bar for this rack from Bells of Steel. But what I did was I ended up getting this rep cross member from Marketplace so that I can have a more narrow inside to inside width rack so that I have more space on my unracking and racking of the bar. So Rogue is a 43 width rack and Rep is a 41 inch rack. So you get an extra inch on both sides of your barbell for unracking and racking, like anything you use with like your J cups. I have monoliths, but because of that, I can't use this pull-up bar anymore because it doesn't fit because it's too long. So probably you need to sell this. I have one dumbbell. This is like from COVID when it was really hard to buy equipment, and I have one 25-pound fixed dumbbell, one 20-pound fixed kettlebell, ab roller, some punching gloves. I do have an aqua bag hanging in the backyard. This is a Theragun or Therabody foam roller. And then we can move on to the rack itself. So like I said, I have a half rack from Bells of Steel, the Hydra. And so I guess we'll start from the back. So actually, before I go there, before this rack, I had a PRX folding rack, and that's what I upgraded from, which I don't have any videos on currently on my channel. But before that rack, I had the Rep PR 1100. So this is technically my third rack, and this will probably be the rack I end up with. The only thing I would change, maybe, is maybe convert it to a 6-post, but then I lose the floor space here because I do Olympic lifts like cleans and snatches, and I want to retain as much space in the front as possible. So this is probably the end game configuration, but you know, there's always updates that are made to the home gym as you would expect. So I guess we'll start in the back. One of the reasons why I did want to go from the PRX folding rack to this rack is for storage. So taking advantage of the back uprights for storage. So I do have a Darko dock here, and that stores 2 of my bars. And then these are just J cups for Rogue Monster Light line that I got from my brother. So I guess we should start with the barbells. This is actually my newest barbell. It's from American Barbell, and it is the stainless steel competition bearing bar. So it is a weightlifting bar. It's really nice. The shaft is full stainless. You have the single weightlifting mark. There is a knurl in the center, but it is very light. They consider it a ghost knurl, and you probably can't even tell it's there if you didn't know. And then the sleeves are chrome, and then of course they have the very pretty welding on the sleeve. And then next up we have the rep safety squat bar. I mainly use this for honestly 2 exercises, which are standing calf raise and Hatfield squats. So just another squat variation, but of course you can just do normal squats with these, front squats, lunges. Those are kind of like most things people use it for, but as for me, those are like the main 2 I use it for, and it's a really nice bar. This third bar, technically it is a multi-purpose bar. So we have the 2 notches, one for powerlifting and one for weightlifting, no center knurl. I believe this is a, what is the finish on this? I think it's a chrome. I think it's a black chrome. And this is from Lu Xiaojun. So I got this during their Black Friday sale, I think in 2020 for like $215 shipped, which was amazing. So this was my main weightlifting bar before I got the American Barbell. It does have bearings. It is a 28mm shaft. So it is like a more weightlifting biased multi-purpose bar. The knurl is pretty passive and it does have the coating on it. So still use this bar and I've been using both. So sometimes if I'm like snatching and cleaning on the same day, I will load one bar for cleans and load the other bar for snatches since I can't currently snatch as much as I can clean. So that's been really nice to have. Moving along, I do have a Mutant Metals UDA dip attachment. So I bought this a la carte from Rogue. So this isn't from Mutant Metals directly. This is from Rogue. Preferably, I would rather have had black, but when I was talking to like a rep, they said that they can't sell black a la carte for some reason. So I think there's a dark blue and a red and then this like charcoal gray. So I just went with the charcoal gray. But this is like really nice. Dips are probably my second most done body weight movement other than pull-ups. So pull-ups and dips, I do a lot of them. And this is like very premium. I used to have a dip attachment for my Bells of Steel cable tower, but I did sell that once I got this. As far as the handles, I actually got the handles from the Home Gym Discord for a really good price, the stainless steel ones. So after I got that, that's when I ended up purchasing this, and very high quality. Moving on, so I do have a horn on here. So I have the Spudding Pillow Belt Squat belt. I use this for belt squats mostly. You can also use it for like weighted dips or weighted pull-ups. So this has been really nice. And I do have chains that I use for like when I'm benching, deadlifting, or squatting. These are actually from Harbor Freight. So I forget how much they cost, but they're about 25 pounds per chain. And then I use some zip ties here to, play with the distribution of weight. And that's kind of how I kept it. What else do we have here? Okay, so this is definitely a very expensive first gen product, but you've probably heard a lot about it. This is the Beyond Power Vultra. It is a magnetic resistance based home gym technology. It's really cool if you love tinkering and like playing with like the resistance curve of your exercises. It is so cool. Very expensive, so definitely hurt the wallet a little bit. But one of my most used pieces of equipment in the gym, I mainly use it for cable accessories, and I do like playing with the force curve. It's pretty easy to move around. Currently, it is on a Darko quick mount, which was like a collaboration with him and Dr. Taddy Waffles. I bought the mount directly from Darko's website, and then I actually won a gift card during the last garage gym competition, and the handle came out. So then I used that gift card on this handle as well as a couple of other pieces on Darko's website. So if you have this, I would probably highly recommend getting the Darko quick mount just to make it easier to move up and down your rack or wherever you want to mount it. But yeah, super cool piece of home gym tech. It'll be interesting to see like what other players enter this arena of magnetic resistance, but still in its like infancy and early stages, but very excited to see where it goes, because more competition will drive the price down. I don't plan to get another one because that's just really expensive. So, and I do have a way to like kind of hack this as if you had two. So maybe I'll show that in a future video. Moving down, so I do have PRX spotter arms. So I didn't end up selling that when I sold my old PRX rack because I already had the storage on the wall for it. So I was like, you know what, I might as well just keep this. And I do have another DIY. So now that I got like nicer bars, I wanted to protect the bar a little bit more and get safety straps. So I DIY'd these brackets. So designed this in Fusion 360, did a lot of 3D printing and iterating to be able to get to this point. So this I got fabbed via Sen. This is 1/4 inch metal, and then these are just fringe sport mag pins that I use to go through the spotter arms. So this is pretty much my main setup when I'm benching, squatting, or doing anything that requires me to use the spotter arms. I will set it up here. If I were to do it again, I would wait until I had these straps. So these straps are 17-inch from Bells of Steel, and I did all like the designing and whatnot before I even had the straps. But I do have like an updated design of this, so it's more versatile. And then I could use these 24-inch straps such that I have a bigger area on the spotter arm to actually have safety straps. Because especially when I'm front squatting, sometimes when I'm like close to failing, I'm really close to hitting the metal part here, and this strap doesn't run like the full length of the spotter arm. So that would be a nice enhancement that I may or may not pursue later down the line, or I'll just like create a small attachment that I can add here to move this out so I can get the safety strap all the way across. But this has been really cool. I've put, I think, up to like maybe like 350 plus pounds on that, like no problem. But yeah, pretty cool. What else? We have the rep open trap bar. So in my last video, I had the Titan Hex bar, which I sold and ended up upgrading to this. Honestly, I prefer trap bar deadlifts. There's a little bit more carryover when it comes to like vertical jump, but it's like a really nice bar. I probably use it once every 2 weeks or a couple times a month. So it is really big and hard to store. This is typically how I store it. So after I'm done lifting, I just move it back here and that's where it lives. All right. What else? Oh, the platform. I did not have this before. I did DIY this. So all the wood is from Home Depot. There are 2 layers of plywood on the bottom, and then the top layer is a stall mats. And then I did get a nicer like hardwood. I believe this is birch. And then I put a couple layers of polyurethane on top to protect it a little bit. But this has been great, especially for like deadlifting, cleans and snatches. So really been enjoying this. It's been working great. These crash pads are same ones I had before, so Yes for All. They're not bad. They're still kind of loud, but they do help protect the ground, or like if I fail or if I want to drop the weights, it's a little bit better than just dropping on the platform itself. So still use these a lot. Moving on, this is like the latest bench upgrade that I got. So this is Rep Nighthawk, and I just got this year. Reason being is because I plan to get Dialed Motion's leg developer attachment, and this has a tube which lets you use the Dialed Motion leg developer. So this is like me purchasing for the future, and then I plan to couple this Dialed Motion leg developer with the Vultra. So using all the features of here with the leg developer, and I think it'll be really cool. I do have a cheap landmine from Amazon here. So these are like the front foot for the Hydra because I have a half rack, and it does have like 2 holes for barbell storage, but since I typically use the spot arms, can't really store barbells there. What else? I guess we go back to the back of the rack. So I only started using knee sleeves and belts in 2025, even though I've been like consistently lifting since like 2017. But these are like kind of more like my daily drivers. They're not as stiff. These are like SBD knee sleeves. So like my normal training, I'll probably be using these. If I'm going like really heavy, like doing singles or like any testing, then I'll use my stiff knee sleeves. These are from Pioneer, and really like those too. So I've been enjoying them. Honestly, now that I'm getting older, it's been kind of nice to kind of push my limits a little bit more. And I initially got these because, you know, I was going for 405-pound squat this year. I currently weigh typically around 165 pounds, and I am 5'6". So 405 is like a pretty big squat. And I was like, you know what? I could probably do it without knee sleeves and a belt, but let me just toss them on and see if I like them. And I hit it, and it took 2 cycles of Wendler, but I eventually did it, and that's probably like my proudest lift that I've ever hit. But I was wearing those Pioneer sleeves when I hit it. I just have a random Yes for All pad, mainly for like core stuff. So if I'm doing like ab roller, I'll use that. Or if I'm doing like any ab crunches with the cable machine or with the Vultra mounted up high, I'll kneel on that. I have a hip thrust pad, also random brand from Amazon. This is a leg holder from Rep Fitness, the Rep Fitness PR 4000 line. I actually got on Marketplace for a pretty good price. The issue is, you know, Rep uprights aren't true 3x3, so they're a little bit smaller. So I did have to like take out the UHMW. I 3D printed thinner pieces of plastic so that it can fit on my bells of steel uprights a little bit better. But that's been working great for especially lat pull downs, Bulgarian split squats. Those are like the main 2 I use it for. Moving up the uprights, we have these eccentric hooks from Rogue, which are actually super cool. So, you know, most of us are stronger on the eccentric of exercises. So like back squat, for example, you can lower much heavier weight than you can lift that weight. So this actually is pretty cool. It's another way to modify the strength curve, but you can only do it for 1 rep. Then you have to reset it. But I use this a lot for back squatting. So like you can load, you know, 315 on the bar and then load each hook with 45. So that on the way down, you have 405 pounds. And then depending on like what height setting you set it, the hooks will drop off. And then when you hit the bottom, you'll only have 315 pounds on the way up. So you can train a little bit more efficiently, or, you know, just like include some variation in your training. But really like those. Main downside is it's pretty loud. And if you don't lower both sides of the bar at the same time, then it'll be a little bit weird because one hook will come off before the other. But I really like this. I wish I got these sooner, to be honest. But I do have a hack where I might end up selling this because you could essentially do it for reps. So heavy eccentric, then the concentric over and over again with the Vultra. And with only 1 Vultra too. You can definitely do it too, and it's very easier, less setup, because you can just mount 1 Vultra underneath each side of the rack, and then, you know, attach it to the bar. It's a little bit harder with 1 Vultra, but it's definitely doable. I'll show that in a future video. I do have another Pioneer belt. This is a weightlifting belt. It's a little bit skinnier, and my wife actually uses this as well. And on the back, I have my like powerlifting belt, also from Pioneer. This is a double suede, I believe, 10 millimeter belt. I didn't want to go for the 13 because it seemed a little bit too intense, but this I think is like a good sweet spot. So that'll probably be my belt for life unless I end up gaining a lot of weight or losing a lot of weight, but there's like adjustability on that. This is the Beyond Power travel mount or travel platform, something like that. But anything you do from like the ground and you stand on it, so like you could think like deadlifts or rows, RDLs, bicep curls, even belt squat, but you probably need to stack things on top to get full range of motion, but use this a lot. Or you can like, use the front foot with the Darko Quip mount. So I end up using this pretty often actually. All right, moving up. This is actually the first Darko product that I ever bought. So this is the Darko Shorty Bar. And then with that gift card that I got from Garage Gym Competition, I got these 3D printed grips that I can add to this. So this can be used for like lat pull down mainly. And I did get the Frog Fits, Shorty holder. So that's 3D printed, just goes through, and it's a good way to store this bar. Yep. And then what else? Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is that there is a 3D printed file that you can download and print to put on the Rogue Monster Light J cups, because this front lip right here, like there wasn't any protection. So it was just straight metal on metal if you put your barbell there. And I think that's just poor design. So I would highly recommend printing that and like replacing the bottom UHMW that's on the factory J cup. What else? I do have a Beyond Power Vultra bar mount, fixed bar mount that is on the multi-grip pull-up bar. So this is used mainly for like ab crunches or tricep push downs, lat pull downs. I'll typically go out here, but that works too. Even like single arm, high rows, anything up where you're pulling from above. Yeah, that's been great. So I used to put my adjustable pull-up bar, that guy over there, on this to do lat pull downs so that I have a more vertical travel of the cable, but it doesn't fit anymore because I now have a skinnier rack. So that's kind of my predicament. So honestly, I end up doing pull-ups more frequently anyway, or I'll just lat pull down from there. It's not that big of a deal. But these right here on the front, these are actually front feet from Bells of Steel. I flipped them upside down and put them up top because it does have keyhole holes so that I can actually use like my Mutant Metal handles to go through here for like a more aggressive pull-up bar. So sometimes I do that. If I want a grippier pull-up bar, I'll put it through there just to have a little bit more versatility. Right here, these are the Kepi collars, which have been pretty popular lately. I actually really like them. I wish I got them sooner, but I was able to get them before they sold out on Amazon. So I think they're a little bit harder to get these days. And then on this side, I do have the Titan Twist Lock collars. These work well if you're not doing like super dynamic movements like cleans and snatches. But I do notice when I use them for cleans and snatches that they tend to move more than I would like, more than the Kepis for sure, but I still use them every now and then. And then like my main J cup, I guess, is Titan Monolith. I didn't really like the red, so I spray painted it. But honestly, I love this. This is like great for benching, back squatting. There is enough travel when you unrack where you don't have to worry about hitting it at all. I guess this is like a Titan attachment, right? That goes on a true 3x3 upright. So it's like very snug. Some people sand the UHMW, but I kind of just like didn't. And like, it's not that bad. Like over time it'll wear down and maybe that UHMW or the plastic will end up on my upright, but I mean, I don't care that much. But I really like having this monolith. It's like been super nice to not have to walk out on squats or benching. One thing I did wish it had is rollers because a lot of times when you re-rack, it's not gonna be centered. So you have to like struggle centering the bar, which is kind of annoying. But that's like a nice to have. I might try to DIY a way to like attach to these bolts here and like figure out a way to add rollers. But I haven't invested too much time to that. But I feel like it's possible because even Bells of Steel has like their roller monolith attachment. But I've been like staying away from it because it doesn't seem like it has a lot of travel. So if that's the case, I'd rather keep the travel and maybe not be centered than have less travel on the monolith, because that's kind of the whole point. This is like my main daily driver bar. So this is a Bare Steel Rogue Ohio bar that I got on Marketplace for like 125 bucks. So the knurling is still in pretty good condition and it feels great. And I really like having a center knurl. The bar I had before this was a Rogue Ohio bar, which doesn't have a center knurl. So that made it a little bit tougher on back squats, which is my favorite exercise. But yeah, I don't know if I'll eventually upgrade this bar. Like I was debating the Chewy, but I ended up going with the nicer weightlifting bar instead of the nicer powerlifting bar. But we'll see. Or maybe I'll upgrade this to like the stainless steel version of Rogue, but not really a priority right now for me. Random yoga mat here for like stretching or foam rolling, or like using my hypervolt to like get any sore muscles. Some recovery balls. That is a tib machine, low row handle, deadlift jack. These are the PRX storage for the spotter arms. I 3D printed some weight horns for my change plates. So these are from Fringe Sports. These are 1 pound, and then these yellow ones are ½ pound. And then I also have, these are iron plates from Rep, 2.5 pounds. And this is just like a random brand bumpers for 2.5 pounds. Also another random brand, iron plates for 2.5 pounds. And then these are Rogue aluminum collars. I really like these if I'm doing like, let's say like power snatch for 95 for a lot of reps and I'm not changing the weight a lot. These really work well to keep the plates on the bar. So these are kind of like my main collars for that. And then I guess we can move on to the next section. Right here is the Bells of Steel. I have two plate loaded cable towers, 60 millimeter uprights. And I combined them with an adjustable pull-up bar on top to make pretty much a secondary squat rack and a functional trainer that's plate loaded. So like me and my wife are the main people who work out here. So sometimes if we're doing different movements or have different days and we're both working out at the gym at the same time, then one of us goes on this rack and the other goes on this rack. But it's definitely nice to have. But to be honest, I don't use this setup much anymore since getting the Vultra. So I'm actually probably gonna get rid of this setup pretty soon. But honestly, it's a pretty tough market on Marketplace right now. Like not a lot of people are buying. So it's a good time to be buying. It's a tough time to be selling. But anyway, pretty cool. I also have the jammer arms right here. These are from Bells of Steel also. I DIY'd these attachments. So this lets you like set the height of your jammer arm. So you don't have to clean the weight all the way to the start of your movement. So similar to like Vendetta or even other brands have them now. PRX has them. But Vendetta did not, or I don't think he still doesn't sell these for the Bells of Steel cable towers, because this is like a non-standard upright size. So I was like, you know what? I'm just a DIY. So same thing, Design Fusion 360. This is stainless steel, and I got it fabbed via Sencut Sen. So the main thing I use this for is for incline press, seated calf raises, standing calf raises, and then rows. And then I do have another adjustable pull-up bar, so I can attach both of the jammer arms together if I wanted to do movements like that. So like the standing and seated calf raises, I would attach this bar across and use that bar. And then you also notice I have the Rohrman Strength megalith handles, which make a big difference, especially for pushing or pressing exercises like shoulder press, bench press, incline bench press, all of those things. And you can do everything like unilaterally. This stays here via this mag pin from Fringe Sport. So same ones that I have on my spotter arms, as well as the Darko quick mount, same one. I guess this isn't really ideal because stainless steel is not magnetic, and this is magnetic. So yeah, I don't have it attached right now, but one of these would help keep that secure. What else? I have these Kensui neutral grip handles, which are pretty nice. And then on the back, I have another wall control with a bunch of attachments. So starting from the left, these are the stainless steel Mutant Metal Rogue UDA handles. We have D handles from Rep. This is a stainless steel Rogue flat bar, straight bar, I guess, the shorter one. Mutant Metal's arc attachment, so I can attach the handles also to this arc attachment for lat pull downs, deadlifts, rows. This is the Porter Frized Eclipse grips. Really nice for like single arm movements. So you could think like hammer curls, tricep push downs, or I do have like a DIY pulley thing that I use this for, also for curls, face pulls, tricep push downs, anything that you would do, you know, unilaterally or even bilaterally. They're like a really premium cable attachment, which I really like. I have some like random Amazon collars here. This is the Cleva and Rep V-bar attachment, some Kaizen adapters, a bunch of carabiners, and miscellaneous items down there. I have a Amazon Basics 10-pound med ball, and then a Bells of Steel 4-pound med ball. And then in this corner, what do I have? I have that's my like original Bells of Steel Hydra cross member. So I don't have a use for that yet, but I'm sure I'll figure something out. The adjustable pull-up bar, like I mentioned, that I use to attach to the jammer arms. And then I think those are some random 35 plates in the back there for my brother, and then some other random plates for that are 5 pounds and 10 pounds. I do also have this other barbell. It is a multi-purpose barbell. I'm pretty sure this is like, what is this? Bright zinc or some sort of zinc finish. It's not that great, the finish, but this is not my barbell. It's actually my brother's, but he's not using it. So he's like, you know what? You can just take it if you want. So technically, I have 3 barbells that are mine. So I have the Rogue Ohio Power Bar, Liu Xiaojun multi-purpose bar, and then the American Barbell weightlifting bar. And then this is my brother's. And then this is my original bench. So this is the Rep AB 3100. Honestly, I still use it. It's really nice actually to have 2 benches. Definitely nice to have, but sometimes I'll have this set up for bench press or incline press or something in the rack, and then I'll have this set up for like dumbbell press or dumbbell incline press with this stand and the power blocks. So really nice to have. Right now, I'm mainly actually using it with this leg attachment. So this is actually from Bells of Steel. It's supposed to work with the Buzzsaw bench, I believe, but I didn't want to have to buy that bench. So I actually 3D printed and designed this like bracket right here, so I can just plop my bench in there and then just use it as is. So this has been really nice for leg extensions. You can also do lying hamstring curls. Not as nice because that's just not as comfortable of a movement. Here's a loading pin and you just put plates there. I did add pulleys on the side, or not pulleys, eye bolts on the side to be able to like attach cables so that it can be weighted with cables. So I haven't done it with my Vultra yet, but you'll probably find a way to optimize the resistance curve because right now it's not that ideal for leg extensions because like at the beginning you pretty much don't have much resistance, and then it gets harder like towards the top, where ideally you would have more resistance towards the bottom and less towards the top. So it's not the ideal resistance curve, but honestly, I still use it a lot. Yeah, so trying to grow those quads. This is like, I think, an Amazon plyo box. So we have the 20, 24, and 30-inch sides. I have a Titan Fitness weight tree here with 4 45s. So this middle row is all 45s, all Rogue bumper plates. The bottom has a pair of 45s and then 3 pairs of 25s. And then I have 3 pairs of 10s on the left side and then 3 pairs of 5s on the right side. But I think that's pretty much it as far as the home gym goes. So this is kind of like, you know, secondary rack, functional trainer with jammer arms, and all that. This is like the main rack, of course, where I do most of my movements and exercises. So yeah, not much on the short list. So maybe upgrade the power bar, but not 100% necessary. But definitely want to get the Dial Motion leg developer when that pre-order drops. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, or yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.